What if an entire community, men, women, and children, vanished without a trace? No bodies, no signs of a struggle, no final messages. Nothing left behind but empty homes and a single, cryptic word carved into a tree. This isn't the plot of a horror movie. This is the story of America's oldest unsolved mystery, the lost colony of Roanoke. Welcome to History's Mysteries. In the late 16th century, the race to claim the New World was on. England, under Queen Elizabeth I, was desperate to establish a foothold in North America to rival the sprawling empire of Spain. The man tasked with this monumental effort was the ambitious and dashing Sir Walter Raleigh. After a reconnaissance mission in 1584 deemed the coastal area of modern-day North Carolina suitable, a first attempt at a military colony was made. It failed within a year due to harsh conditions and poor relations with the local Native American tribes. But Raleigh was not deterred. For the second attempt, the plan was different. This wouldn't be a military outpost. It would be a true English settlement, a new home. In 1587, over 115 men, women, and children set sail for the Chesapeake Bay, led by Governor John White. But things went wrong from the very beginning. For reasons still debated, the ship's pilot refused to sail further than Roanoke Island, forcing the colonists to re-establish the same failed settlement from years before. Despite this setback, they persevered. They repaired the old fort and homes and tried to forge peaceful relations with the local tribes, though tensions simmered beneath the surface. And amidst this uncertainty, there was a moment of hope. On August 18, 1587, Governor White's own daughter, Eleanor Dare, gave birth to a baby girl. She was named Virginia. Virginia Dare holds the distinction of being the first English child born in the Americas. She was a symbol of a new beginning, a promise of a thriving English future in this new land, but that future would never come to pass. As the season wore on, the colony's supplies began to dwindle. The colonists knew they couldn't survive the winter without help. They persuaded their governor, John White, to return to England to gather more food, tools, and reinforcements. It was a perilous journey, but necessary for their survival. Reluctantly, White agreed, leaving behind his daughter, his granddaughter Virginia, and the entire colony. He promised to return as quickly as possible, within a few months, but when John White arrived back in England, he sailed straight into a maelstrom. King Philip II of Spain had launched his invincible armada to invade England. Every available ship, including White's, was commandeered to defend the realm. The epic naval battle delayed any possibility of a relief mission. What should have been a journey of a few months turned into an agonizing wait. 3 long years passed before John White could finally secure a ship and sail back to his family and his colony. 3 years of silence. On August 18, 1590, his granddaughter Virginia's 3rd birthday, John White finally landed back on Roanoke Island. As they approached, there was no smoke from chimneys, no sound of voices, no sign of life. The settlement was gone. But it wasn't a scene of destruction. The houses had been carefully dismantled and removed, not burned or ransacked. The defensive palisade around the settlement was still standing, and there, carved into one of the main posts, was that single word, Croatoan. Another carving, CRO, was found on a nearby tree. There were no signs of a battle, no skeletons, no graves. It was as if over 100 people had simply packed up and vanished into thin air. So what happened? For over 400 years, historians and archaeologists have debated the fate of the colonists. Let's explore the leading theories. Theory 1. Assimilation. This is the most widely accepted theory. Croatoan was not a random word. It was the name of a nearby island, modern-day Hatteras Island, and the name of the friendly Native American tribe that lived there, led by Chief Manteo. Before White left, he had agreed with the colonists that if they had to move, they would carve their destination into a post. If they were in distress, they were to add a Maltese cross. There was no cross. This suggests the colonists moved voluntarily to Croatoan Island to live with Manteo's people. Decades later, subsequent English explorers reported seeing blonde-haired, blue-eyed Native Americans in the region, people who claimed their ancestors could speak from a book. This theory suggests the colonists weren't lost. They simply became part of a new community. Theory 2. A Spanish attack. England and Spain were bitter enemies. the Spanish had a presence in Florida and saw the English colony as a threat, a base for pirates to attack their treasure fleets. It's plausible a Spanish force sailed up from the south and wiped out the colony. However, this theory has a major problem: a lack of evidence. The Spanish were meticulous record keepers, and an attack of this magnitude would likely have been reported and celebrated. Furthermore, it doesn't explain the lack of bodies or the carefully dismantled homes. Theory 3. Lost at sea or inland. Some believe a small group of colonists tried to sail back to England on their own and were lost in a storm. Others speculate they moved inland, away from the coast, and were unable to survive in the harsh, unfamiliar wilderness, eventually succumbing to disease or starvation. While possible, these theories don't fully align with the Croatoan clue, which points to a specific, planned destination. John White was never able to find out. A brewing storm forced his ships to abandon the search, and he sailed back to England, heartbroken. He never saw his daughter or his granddaughter again. The fate of the 115 colonists of Roanoke remains an indelible scar on the pages of American history. Were they absorbed into a new culture, their bloodlines continuing in the people of the Outer Banks? Or did they meet a more tragic end in the untamed wilderness of a new world? The clues are few and the truth remains buried by time and tide. The silence from Roanoke Island is deafening, leaving us with nothing but a ghost story and a single haunting word: Croatoan. What do you think happened to the lost colony? Let us know your theory in the comments below. If you found this mystery as fascinating as we do, please hit the like button and subscribe to History's Mysteries for more dives into the great unanswered questions of our past. Thanks for watching.